On my desk today, I've got quite a bit to talk about. This is a AliExpress super unboxing. Every year they do 2 huge sales on AliExpress. All the watch YouTubers talk about their favorite models. They might even have a brand send them a couple to review. This is me just going on AliExpress and purchasing all the cool watches that I thought were worth reviewing, or might be worth reviewing. This is not a sponsored video. I purchased every single watch here on the desk. A lot of these are going to be available for sale. If you want to buy them, send me an email. I'll put that in the description. I'm going to wait until probably end of April or early May to start those sales because I want also to hear from anybody that wants to see a long-term review of any of these watch models. So if there's one that I unbox that you want to see more of, leave a comment below and let me know. There's a lot of differing opinions on AliExpress watches and watch content. So I know I will get both positive and negative feedback on this type of review, but that's okay. That's why I'm doing it, because it's a fun topic. It's kind of divisive. So let's get started with the first watch, which is the one here on my wrist, which is a San Martin SN0144. This is the Miyota 9015 automatic movement, 316L stainless steel. This is a 46 millimeter lug to lug, 39 millimeter case size, and a thickness of 10 millimeters. Overall, a really nicely made and finished watch. This is a extremely popular watch for YouTubers in particular, and just online in general, I guess. Most people have just praised this watch, called it the watch of the year, and not to call anyone out in particular, but Watching James as a channel has done an excellent video on this watch, and this is one of his favorites from last year. And I agree with a lot of things he said, but I also have genuine criticism of this watch and the way it wears and just the overall experience of ownership. And at the price point, with AliExpress as the consideration and the context, I think $350 is a lot of money for an AliExpress watch, even one as nice as this one. But, you know, I have genuine criticisms of it, is all I'm going to say. There will be a long-term review of this watch that I will do. I bought this one when it first came out, so I paid the full $350 retail for it, and I've just struggled to really get my thoughts together on it, if that's any indication of how I feel. But we're going to move on to watch number 2, which is a Berny. I'm also doing a new microphone today, so hopefully the audio comes out okay. All right, so this is the AM7081M, which is a diver. And right off the bat, I really like this. Has a Miyota A205 with sapphire crystal. This is a 42 millimeter watch with a 14 millimeter case thickness, strap width of 20 millimeters. Overall weight is 104 grams, and has a really interesting calendar feature here, which I think is pretty cool. Nice big lume markers on the indexes. We have a second crown, presumably a screw down crown, which it is, and this is for the inner rotating bezel. And then of course we've got the standard crown here. See-through case back, standard Berny clasp. You get this on a lot of AliExpress stuff, just stamped and branded. Overall, for $75, which is what this watch costs and what I paid, this is an attractive watch. I like the design of it. It's very legible. I think this one's pretty cool. Here it is on my 17 centimeter wrist, which is just about 6.7 inches. Overall case height is not too bad, actually. Lug to lug is pretty intense with these male end links. I'm not crazy about the overall wrist presence here. Those are pretty chunky end links here. This might look a little bit better on a rubber strap. This is like a double-sided flathead screw setup, and it will not accept regular spring bars even if you remove the bracelet and those screw spring bars. You have to literally remove the spring bars on the strap that you're trying to install and use the supplied Berny flathead screw spring bar. So my opinion, ditch the bracelet altogether and just order the rubber strap from the beginning. Let's move on to watch number 3. Sticking with Berny here. All right, I can already tell why I bought this one. This is a Sinn Homage, which is really cool. This is one of those little titanium Bernys. Has the Seiko Quartz VH31. Case material is titanium. Lug distance is 42 millimeters. It's a 20 millimeter lug width and a 37 millimeter case diameter. If for nothing else than to say you got a titanium watch, this watch is worth considering. If you only ever had stainless steel watches, this one can kind of feel like cheap almost. It's very interesting, the construction of this watch with the titanium and just how lightweight it is. But it's a good looking watch, and I'll throw it on wrist here so you can see what that looks like. $71 at the high end, $63 on average is what I'm seeing. And I think you could do a lot worse for your first titanium watch. I think everyone should have at least one. Try it out, see what you think. If you're used to stainless steel, it's a pretty big difference overall in terms of weight and just experience on the wrist. So we'll finish this one up here and we'll move on to the next watch. Next watch up is a Pagani design. This is the model PD1701. Has a strap width of 20 millimeters, case diameter of 40, case thickness is 14, and it is obviously homaging to an Omega Dark Side of the Moon. Really cool design for $60, which is what these sell for during the sale. Overall design you're getting for that amount of money is crazy. I know a lot of people have nothing but great things to say about Pagani design. I've never been able to bring myself to wear them, truthfully. Once I have them, I just can't get over the fact that it's almost a knockoff, essentially, of an Omega Speedmaster. This strap is really nice, just off the bat. It seems like it's well constructed. The colors look good. I just don't know that I would wear this outside of the house. I think it's really cool for like an experiment to see what I could get for $60. It has a VK63 Mecha Quartz movement, which is really cool. This is that mechanical movement on top with the quartz movement on the bottom. Got this kind of semi-skeletonized dial here with sapphire crystal, big bold tachymeter with the yellow letters there. Yellow accents are really cool overall. Again, it's not their design, they're just homaging to someone else's, so as far as the design goes, it's a little unoriginal, but we know what we're doing here, we know what we're getting with the Pagani. The back of the case has this really cool little spaceship with the moon and Saturn and some other stuff. It's a little quirky. But yeah, that's watch number 4, Pagani design. I'm not crazy about this brand in particular, but I understand why people are and why they like it so much. So I'm not going to give you my recommendation on it personally, but there's nothing wrong with trying this out at the price point of $63. Watch number 5 is from Boderry. Comes in this cute little shipping container, which is a little bit on the nose considering what AliExpress is and how they come over by boat from China. Okay, we got a manual, instruction manual. We got a little warranty card, and we've got a titanium bracelet here. And we've got the watch itself. I'll pull that out. This is a Boderry Landmaster titanium, and it almost has like a tritium tube look to it, but it's just loom as far as I'm aware. So at $122, it's actually quite a bit more than the last Berny we just looked at. But as far as that titanium watch goes, this is a lot heavier in my hand. It feels a little bit more substantially built. The looks overall are better. The crown is this really nice screw down kind of pilot style crown, and just a really attractive watch right off the bat. Overall, I'd say for $122, this is a very well built watch. Definitely feels a lot more substantial than that Berny. Automatic movement definitely has something to do with that as far as the weight is concerned, because the Berny uses the quartz. But it just seems like a really nicely built tool watch, like a nice little field watch. And of course, it is using loom instead of tritium for those tubes, but it is really cool that they're able to kind of get that look. It's a 38 millimeter case diameter. Case thickness is 13 millimeters off of the NATO. Strap width is 20, so universal. You can put anything you want on there. Lug to lug is 48 millimeters, and we have a waterproof 100 meter water rating, which is also better than the Berny. As far as what you get as well for the $122, we get that titanium bracelet. So we get it on both the NATO and the bracelet. I kind of like the looks of it on the NATO though. Get a really nice little textured dial, which I'll zoom in on. So yeah, it's a good looking watch. I'd say for $122, this is definitely worth considering. Let's throw it on my wrist here and show you how that wears, and then we'll move on to watch number 6. All right, so here's a shot of the Boderry on the NATO strap, which I'm not crazy about, but looks good on my 17 centimeter wrist. If you are a fan of NATO straps, you'll probably like this one. Here is the titanium bracelet, which uses this really cool H-link design. And I actually really like the look of this quite a bit more than the NATO. Overall, a good looking bracelet and a handsome looking watch. Watch number 6 is, wow, that was the entire unboxing. Okay, we have a Dempsey, which is a quartz Panerai homage, and I hate it. Just off the bat, just my first impressions are that this is junk. Oh my god. What is this? Is that a fake automatic rotor? It literally says quartz movement and then it has a fake rotor. I paid $12 for this watch. It is not worth $12. I'll put it on my wrist just to show you how it wears. This is a massive watch on a massive strap and I hate it. And that's the end of this one. Let's move on to watch number 7. Number 7 is an AddiesDive, so high hopes for this one. And I'm going to spoil this a little bit and say I've already unboxed this one and sized it for myself. So there's extra links lying there. I am doing a long-term week on the wrist review for this one already, but this is a really popular brand new one that just came out to $112. This is the model number 82077. It really reminds me of maybe like a Tissot Gentleman or like a Longines Conquest type dial. I think if I were to buy another one, I would get the darker dial. I'm not crazy about this one, but maybe it'll grow on me. Got kind of a jangly bracelet here that you can hear. This is the same bracelet you get on every single AddiesDive for the most part. It's just your oyster style with the small little clasp here with the AddiesDive logo, which is not appropriate for this watch as usual. We just have a scuba diver with spears, and is this a dive watch? I don't know. I don't think so. I guess it could be. It's 100 meter water resistant, but I would not want to wear this diving. There's no dive bezel. It's definitely more of an everyday style watch. So it's just confusing to me why AddiesDive continues to throw their scuba logo on the case back and the bracelet. It's just a frustrating experience. I've not fallen in love with any AddiesDive watch that I've purchased, but $113. Talk a little bit about the specs here. This is a NH35A movement from Seiko. It is a 38 millimeter watch with a 48 millimeter lug to lug, 13 millimeter case thickness, 20 millimeter lug width, and it's 141 grams. K1 mineral crystal is what they're saying. So I don't know what K1 stands for specifically, but it's not sapphire. So keep that in mind. At $113, or possibly more if you ended up not getting it during the sale, I'm not in love with what I'm seeing here. I just want a little bit more out of AddiesDive. If they're going to go to the trouble of doing all of these different designs, changing up the font here on the logo, just do a little more effort and change up the case back. I don't know, spin off a different brand. Why am I getting like little scuba divers on every single watch? I don't understand why this is not a separate brand if you're going to do this style everyday watch. This is more like a Tissot or a Longines like daily than it is a diver. There's no dive bezel. It's not a diver. That is always my biggest thing with AddiesDive. So $113. I'm 50-50 on this watch. I'd say keep looking. Just first impressions. All right. Number 8 is actually not a watch at all. It is a professional watch bezel remover, and I paid $22 for it, and it is absolute crap. Absolute junk. Do not buy this. Not worth purchasing at any price. I have not even been able to remove a single bezel with this. It's just the plastic is just complete garbage. I cannot express enough how poor the quality of this tool is. Do not buy this tool. Okay, next up is number 9. Number 9 is from Hroudland, a brand that I absolutely love from AliExpress. One of my favorite AliExpress divers of all time is a Hroudland, and I did a video on that one before, so I'm pretty excited about this one. Let's open this up. And, oh yeah. This is a Blancpain homage. This is the Galaxy command, which is kind of funny. So this is homaging to the Air command from Blancpain. It's a Flyback chronograph. Off the bat, love the watch. It's $133. This is my favorite of the day so far. I really, really, really like this watch. The nicest one by far. Let's throw it on wrist, and I'll talk about some specs, and we'll go from there. Here's our wrist roll here. Got a 12.2 millimeter thick case. Got a 20 millimeter bandwidth here. It says it's water resistant to 10 bar. Dial diameter is 40 millimeters. The model number from Hroudland is F019. Has sapphire crystal. Well, it doesn't say the kind of movement, but it is quartz is what they're saying. So I imagine it's exactly like the VK63 or something similar that uses that sandwich style chronograph with the mechanical movement on top and the quartz on bottom. I gave the Pagani design crap for not being an original design, so I kind of have to say the same thing here. This is obviously homaging a Blancpain Air Command. That design has been around for a very long time, whereas the Dark Side of the Moon design has not been around as long. So I'm going to give a little bit more leeway to the Hroudland here. Also, the Blancpain is a little bit more unobtainable, I'd say, to most people, or at least they're not going to see it around as often. So for that reason, I think this one's a little bit more acceptable as an homage watch. So I'm going to give it my thumbs up approval. Ceramic bezel, really nice movement here, no play. Just really, really nice design. Sunburst dial. I really like this watch a lot. $133. Yes, it's an homage. It is not an original design. I'm okay with it. I really like it. This will be getting a long-term, at least a 1 week type review. All right, let's move on to watch number 10. We have a Sugess, which I have had bad luck with in the past. So we'll see what we've got here. My last Sugess video has done really well, but that watch showed up dead on arrival, so I've got kind of a bone to pick with Sugess. Let's see here. Another Blancpain homage. This is another Air Command style watch. So I will be putting this one and that Hroudland up against each other during my testing. This one is using a seagull movement. Looks like the ST1901. Which is always nice to see. Just an attractive little movement. Sapphire caseback. Nice big caseback too. Screw down crown, quick release lugs. Nice looking strap. Oh my god, that is so much worse. This bezel is way worse than the last one I just looked at from the Hroudland. As far as the dial goes, the color's a little off compared to that Hroudland as well. It's pretty like royal blue almost. Okay, let's give this thing a little push. It's working, which is nice to say. Nice snappy response there. I've got other ST1901 movements in my collection as well, so I like the movement. Not in love with this crown. Overall, first impressions of this one are not as good as that Hroudland, although this caseback makes a good argument over why you should get this one over that one. But this is $176 when I bought it during the sale. I'm going to pull it up here and see what it's going for now. Right now, this watch says it's $194, so you're getting close to $200 here. I think just first impressions, I like the Hroudland more. This is the model S423, and it does have the swan neck regulator in that ST1901 movement. Watch thickness says it's 11.5, which is nice, actually, nice and slim. 42 millimeter watch diameter, waterproof to 50 meters. Weight is 89 grams, and lug to lug is 51. I'm going to throw it on wrist and show you how it wears. All right, so here is the Sugess on the 22 millimeter strap. I really like the strap a lot, and overall the look and appearance on the wrist is good. Again, my wrist is 17 centimeters, which is about 6.7 inches. It's not an unattractive watch at all. I just think I like the Hroudland a little bit more. So with that, let's move on to the next watch, but I think this one is a wait and see. I'm going to see how this one fares over my review. Right now I'm kind of on the fence on whether I want to recommend this one or not. Okay, just for kicks because I can, here is the Hroudland next to the Sugess. So you guys can see, maybe make a decision for yourself if you're considering both of them. I like the Hroudland personally, dimensions wise, and just overall the color and the bezel and everything just looks a little bit nicer on the Hroudland. The name Galaxy Command is not awesome. Don't love that name, but my other Hroudland says like custom or something as the name, so it's fine. I don't really care. But here's the two watches side by side. They're similar enough that I figured I would at least let you see them before I do a long-term review. But yeah, there you go. And we're going to move on to watch number something. I forgot where we are. I've lost counts. It's interesting. Oh, I know what this is. This is a Murph homage. This is pretty cool. I like the packaging it came in. Comes with a nice little... Oh, it's even filled out. Look at that. That doesn't happen every day with AliExpress. I got to fill that warranty card. That's exciting. Okay, let's get this thing out of the plastic. I'll throw up the price and the specs again on screen. I actually have a 38mm Murph to compare this to, so I will definitely be doing a video review of this one. Off the bat, I am pretty excited about this. So we have a $136 Milifortic. This is the Hamilton Murph 38 homage. So far, so good. I'm really liking what I'm seeing here. Model number is 8039M059. Khaki Murphy homage field watch is what they're saying. Seiko NH35 inside, 316L stainless steel, brushed finishing here. You got polished hands with lume, sapphire crystal with AR coating, screw down crown, strap width is 20, got a case thickness of 12.2, lug to lug is 46.8, and overall case diameter they're saying is actually 39. The Murph is supposed to be 38. So that's interesting. This is 82 grams on this leather strap that smells more like plastic than leather. Really attractive little watch. Clearly an homage. 100-meter water resistance there, automatic. This is a nice looking piece. I'm excited to review this one. Again, this is a $136 watch on the sale. They're saying normally it's $250. I don't know how true that is. I think it's anything that you're going to be able to get this one for under $150 all day long, even outside the sale. Screw-down case back has nothing on it, which is kind of interesting. So for $136, this one definitely gets a thumbs up from me. That is almost $800 cheaper than the actual Hamilton Murph 38. That watch is $900 on the strap. I think it's $990 on the bracelet. And this one's $136 on sale right now. I like that Hroudland a lot, but this is a close second. This is a really nice watch. Let's see what this is. What do we have here? Oh, another one. Perfect follow-up to the last one. This is another Murph 38 homage. This is from SH. And they do a really good job keeping this thing in the plastic, apparently. So I paid $147 for this one. On AliExpress right now, it says it's $172. This is a Khaki Murph homage, exactly like the previous watch. This one's from brand SH. It is on the bracelet, which is nice because I can also compare it to the real Khaki Murph bracelet. Have a see-through case back this time. Overall, good first impressions, just like the last one. This one notably has a PT5000 in it. So that is comparable to an ETA 2824 or a Sellita SW200. It's just the Chinese version. So I think for $172 or even less, when I bought it during the sale, it was 140 something. That is a really nice value, getting a PT5000 instead of like a Seiko NH35. So that is really cool. This is going to be an interesting comparison. I'm excited to put this and the other one up against the actual Hamilton Murph to see which one comes out on top. Even the clasp is pretty similar to the real thing. That'll be a good video. This one and the previous one will get a long-term review comparison against the actual Hamilton Khaki field. So that will be exciting. Okay, thumbs up from me at this value. Even at the full price right now of $170 something, good value. I can say that unequivocally. Let's put this one aside. I also kind of like this little case it came in. Nice little travel pouch. And they did give me a link removal tool. So that's nice to see. Okay, I believe we're on watch number 13, and this one came in the worst packaging by far. It is like a styrofoam block just taped. That was fun to open. And then the watch is in this. We've got a little terry cloth. And then we've got the watch itself, which is a Corgeut, or Corgeut, not Corgeut, but let's call it a Corgeut, which is a Railmaster homage, Omega Railmaster homage, which I happen to own. So that's kind of fun. In fact, let me go grab that and I'll put them side by side. Okay, here we've got the Corgeut next to my Omega Seamaster Railmaster. The Corgeut is a $60 watch with a Miyota or a Seagull movement. It doesn't specify. Let's flip it over. it looks like a Miyota, says Miyota, and it's as noisy as a Miyota. Hopefully you can hear that. It is extremely noisy. That's a telltale sign of a Miyota. Not that my Railmaster is not noisy, because it kind of is as well, but anyway, what do we got here? $60 versus $6,000. We've got a sapphire crystal, 20mm bandwidth, got 11.5 millimeter case thickness, and we've got a 41mm case diameter on 316L stainless steel with water resistance of 50 meters or 5 ATM. Considerably different than my Railmaster, which is a Seamaster at heart. Aquaterra case. Overall, I think it is not an unattractive watch. And the nice thing about this is it gets a pass on the Homage design originality, because this watch is discontinued and you can't buy it anymore. And that always makes a Homage acceptable in my mind, because if you wanted this watch, you can't buy it from Omega. They won't sell it to you. So go get this one for 60 bucks. I think that's okay. Really light compared to this one. And again, that Miyota rotor is extremely noisy. This is a really terrible strap based on what I'm seeing so far, but it's a nice like match color wise. It feels like it's just like foam or something. Let's throw it on my wrist and I'll let you see how it wears. Also really funny that the AliExpress ad says it has a deployment buckle, but it is just a pin buckle system here. The dial doesn't have the richness or depth on the striations there that the actual Omega has, which is totally acceptable considering the price difference here of $6,000 versus $60. I think if you wanted to just get the look of this Omega and not spend the money on the used market, this is a totally acceptable watch for 60 bucks. And most people don't even know what the Railmaster is to begin with, so I don't think anyone's going to say that you're wearing a fake or anything like that. So this is fine. I don't love the watch, it's just fine. And with that, we'll move on to the next watch. Okay, we're getting towards the end of the video finally. We've got a few more left. This is the Cadisen, and this is definitely one I'm going to be doing a week on the wrist kind of long-term review on. Interesting packaging right off the bat. It's kind of like leather, cardboard almost. But I really like the look of this one. I'll get this thing off the plastic and I'll throw some specs up on screen for you. So clearly I love a good Blancpain homage. I've done a few of these 50 fathom homages in the past with the the Reef Tiger, and also with a Hroudland that I really like. This is actually not a bad bezel movement. It's got a little play in it, but nothing crazy. This is a $70 watch. It is a 316L stainless steel, 42mm diameter watch, 47mm lug to lug, has a thickness of 12.5, which looks way thinner than that, in my opinion. Some of that might be that crystal. I really like the overall case profile of this quite a bit. This is a much slimmer look than previous Blancpain 50 fathom homages, and definitely slimmer than my Scuba 50 Blancpain swatch. 22mm bandwidth and a 78 gram weight overall. Really interesting dial texture here. And I love the 12369, and we have that 4:45 date window here. Let's unscrew the crown. We've got nice legible hands with an applied Cadisen logo. This is my first Cadisen, actually. This one comes in, crown is pretty small, kind of hard to operate. This one comes in a really nice looking black version as well. It reminds me of that Blancpain like Sea of Storms or Ocean of Storms, the swatch one. Depth Explorer, 100-meter water resistance. Yeah, I like this watch. I was on the fence on whether I should get this one or the black one. This has a NH35 in it, by the way. But yeah, this is the model C8239, and I got the blue one. Nice applied markers as well. But yeah, looks good. Let's throw it on the wrist and I'll show you how it wears. Okay, so here's my wrist roll, and I like the way it wears. I think that the blue contrast here is a little strange, and especially with the strap here. We got three different blues here. We got this blue, the bezel blue, we got the dial blue. They're all different. This Yeah, it's funny. This strap is cool. I like that it's not a actual NATO. I think it's just like a nylon, you know, standard spring bar strap, but it also has this like fixed, you know, keeper. I can't move it. So I have this like excess strap that I cannot move the keeper up to maintain. So this strap is crap, but the watch head is cool. So we'll see if I can get this on a different strap and maybe put some life back into it. But for $72, one of the better 50 Fathom homages that I've seen on AliExpress. I think I still like my Hroudland more, but this one's not bad either. We are down to the last two watches. These are both from Benyar, but I actually bought them from the Pagani Design brand flagship store, so maybe these are part of the Pagani Design catalog. These are two of the same models, just different colors, and I bought them because they kind of reminded me of like a Frederic Constant or a Constellation from Omega. I paid $26 each for these. This one is a interesting little white dial. Definitely got like Frederic vibes going on here. And I like this one because it reminded me of that Sedna Gold Omega Constellation that has that red strap. I kind of wanted to get something kind of similar to that. Here's the two side by side. Give you some specs here. All right, so this is the model BY5199. It says it's about 60.4 grams, and it says the movement is a PE48-6. Don't know what that is, but it is a quartz movement. It says the bracelet width is 26 millimeters. That must be this entire width across. It's an integrated strap, kind of like a PRX or something similar. Citizen's got a few of these as well. 14 millimeter width here. So I think straps would be tough to swap if I had to guess. Yeah, it's an overall classy little watch. Textured dial. Let's see if I can zoom in here. I like the white dial. I don't like the kind of rose gold dial we've got here, or salmon dial. I think it's an interesting look, but I don't really like it. This one is acceptable, in my opinion. For $25, it's especially acceptable. We've got a date window at 6. We got a small seconds hand that is ticking away. We've got really nice Roman numerals here with a watchmaker's 4 there. And then we've got a pop-out crown, stop the movement. Just a press-on case back, which is totally acceptable. Let's throw it on the wrist and see how it wears. All right, here's my wrist roll of the Benyar. I actually really like the way it wears, which I'm surprised to say. It curves around the wrist really nicely, where the strap starts and kind of finishes around. I like the strap design overall. Kind of looks like a alligator type strap. Definitely is not, but that's okay. I don't know if this is definitely like hard Lux crystal or something. This is not sapphire, but it's got cool distortion going on. Yeah, I mean, for $25, I don't know how you could complain about this. It's a nice looking watch for what it is. So that's going to wrap up my video of the day. That was the last watch unboxing with the Benyar. My favorite of the day is this Hroudland for sure, this Flyback chronograph, the Blancpain Homage. What was your favorite? Which one do you want to see more of? And did you like this kind of content? Would you prefer that I break it up into smaller chunks next time? Just leave your feedback below. I would love to read every single comment. And let me know for sure which ones you want me to spend more time with and do a longer review on. I'm happy to do it with any of the watches that we looked at today. So just leave a comment below with the model number or the watch number, and I'll put information up on the screen for every single one of them. I'll put links in the description below. And if you have a question or you want to buy one of these off of me, I will sell it to you for less than I paid. The email will be in the description, so go ahead and take advantage of that if you'd like. I'm not going to sell them until May, more than likely, just so that I have time to read these comments and do long-term reviews on each model. But happy to sell you a used one if you would like. And I've done that with subscribers in the past. So definitely leave your feedback, like the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.